Working out while on vacation can be super stressful. When you book a trip, you might not know if there's going to be a gym or any equipment, or maybe even any space or time for your workout. So today, I'm taking the thinking out of the equation for you with a total body equipment-free workout. All you need is yourself and this video, because it is a follow-along format, meaning you can do it in real time with me, and we are going to sweat and get a great workout in no matter where you are. You can do this in the backyard like I am, on the beach, on your deck, or even in a tiny little sliver of ground next to your hotel bed. So wherever you are, make sure you grab your water, especially if you're outside, because it can be so hot out here in the summertime, and let's get going. And if you loved this workout and were like, wow, bodyweight exercises are way more dynamic and interesting than I thought, make sure you check out the She Beast program. You can find out more on my website at emmabfit.com/shebeast. It's my 12-week signature women's workout program where you learn everything there is to know about bodyweight and kettlebell training to get in the best shape of your life. So with that said, grab yourself your water and your space to work out, and let's get going. All right, before we get going, make sure you have your water. If you're outside and it's hot, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated, because this workout's going to make you sweat. So make sure that that water is out of the way, and let's get going. We are going to start with a total body warm-up, making sure our joints and our core are working the way we want them to. So we're just going to start by popping down on the ground. And yes, I'm about to lay in the grass, because that's what vacation's about. It's about being out in the sun and enjoying it. So we're going to raise one leg at a time and do single leg glute bridges. Keeping that core tight, you're going to do 10 of these on each side, up and down. Make sure your lower back contacts the floor with each rep. 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to switch legs. Make sure that non-working leg is tracking up in the sky. And if it's too hard to hold it up, you can crisscross one leg over the other. 8, 9, 10. Now, from here, we're gonna flip over onto all fours. So come onto all fours in a tabletop position. And before we get going, I want you to just practice crawling like a baby. I know this sounds silly, but we're gonna put one hand in front of each other, in front of the other, and crawl. And you see that the opposite hand and opposite foot move at the same time to propel yourself forward. Same thing going back. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to elevate our knees and make it a core activation exercise and a quad exercise. So elevate those knees just an inch off the floor. Imagine your arms and legs are on train tracks. From here, we're going to move our opposite hand and opposite foot forward to crawl. And I want you to go 5 to 10 paces in one direction, and then about 5 to 10 in the other. Go about the distance of the space you have in front of you. I want to make sure I stay in the frame here. So I'm going to be doing 2 laps. And if you're following along with me, we can just do 2 laps together. So now forward again, keeping those hips low. Try not to have the hips up high and swaying. You want to imagine that that bottle of water is sitting on your back. And now we're going to reverse it one more time, staying low to the ground, really deliberate with your movements, and relax. Next, we are going to warm up our legs and our knees. So here we're going to do an isometric heel elevated split squat for 15 seconds per side. Stand with one foot in front of the other. Come up on your tiptoes. Send your pelvis towards the floor, tailbone to the floor. Head, shoulders, hips in a nice straight line, arms out in front of you, and sink down as close to the floor as you can get. My knees are just grazing that grass, they're not touching it. And my heels are up. We're gonna hold for 15 seconds. Squeeze the core. You're gonna feel it in both of your legs. Your heels, just keep pulling them up and keep sinking down. Feet up, body down. And 3, 2, 1. Stand up, and we're gonna take this on the other leg. So switch the feet. You want to have your feet close enough that when you bend those knees, the back knee and the front heel are pretty close together. So again, tailbone to the floor. Core is on. Head, shoulders, hips are a nice straight line. Arms out in front of you, up on your tiptoes, and lower down. If you couldn't get that far down, it's okay to be up here, but we get more out of this down here, and we're being efficient because it's hot today and I don't want to do unnecessary work. So we're only doing 1 round of this warm up because it is so hot. So keep breathing, heels up, body down, 3, 2, 1, stand up. Awesome. Now we're going to do something called a drop landing. This exercise prepares us for jumping by practicing the portion where we land. So what you're going to do is stand like you're going to do a jump for height. We hinge, we throw our arms back, hips go back, and then we throw our arms up and come to the tiptoes, but we don't actually jump. And then from here, I want you to pop your toes up and land on a flat foot. And you practice that landing, again, shifting your hips back and your head forward. Although this is a jump squat, we are hinging here. So 10 times, arms come up, drop down, arms come up, drop down. It's hard to see because of the grass, but I am having a small little jump where I pull my toes up and land in my heels. And you'll see, if I don't lean far enough forward, I risk falling back. So keep jumping, and next up we have our first circuit where we are going to focus on our quads or the front of the legs and our core. So grab a sip of water, calm down, and let's keep going. So to start this workout off, we are going to be doing tempo squats, kneeling sissy squats, and a plank variation. So again, this is a follow along video, so make sure that you are ready to do these with me. We're going to start with a bodyweight tempo squat. What you're going to do is stand with your feet hips width apart or a little wider, whatever your preferred squat is. Engage your core, send your tailbone to the floor, put your arms out in front of you, and we're going to lower down on a 3 count, spend 3 seconds in the hole, and then shoot out as fast as we can. So watch first, and then we'll do 10 reps together. 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, power out. So you see, I really exploded up. It was like I was trying to jump somewhere when I came out. I'm using my quads to lower me down, to hold me down, and then my butt to come back up. So now 10 reps together. Inhale, down, 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, up, down, 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, and up. Keep going, down, 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, and power up. Keep going. Make sure you like your footing. Hold 3, 2, 1, and up. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, power up. Try to make sure you don't lean forward too much, okay? We're going to hold here for 3, 2, 1, power up. If you feel this in your lower back, you might be popping your booty too much. Get that butt down or holding for 2, 1, and up. Keep going. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and up. You see it, you don't really have to count when you're on your way down. You can come down naturally for about 3 seconds, but then it does feel like a burn and come up. We have 2 more here. 3, 2, 1, and come up. And 1 more, lower down nice and slowly at the bottom. 3, 2, 1, and come up. Ooh, you really, really feel those on the fronts of your knees. So next we're going to pop down for a kneeling sissy squat. You can watch the demo and then we'll do it together. So I'm in a kneeling position. My toes are untucked, and if you are on a hard surface, please kneel on a pillow or something soft, or fold up your yoga mat if you're on a yoga mat. You're going to squeeze your butt. You're going to make sure your knees, hips, shoulders, and head stay in a straight line this whole time. Arms can go out in front of you or crossed over your chest. I'm going to hold them out in front of me so I don't block my mic. And then I'm going to lean back as far as I can, and then use my glutes to pull me back up. The fronts of my legs are responsible for lowering me down, and then pull myself back up. So we're going to do 5 to 10 of these at your own pace. So come down to your knees, untuck your toes, make sure you're kneeling on something nice and soft, and try not to let your knees go too wide and feel like they're splaying out. Squeeze your butt for dear life as you lower back and come up. Again, 5 to 10 at your own count, and come up. Make sure that you don't let your hips start to fall. If your hips come down and you're kind of sitting back, then you're not doing this properly. The thighs are not working, the butt's working instead, and that's not the point of this circuit. So do a few more, get to either 5 or 10, and then don't stand up like I just did. You're going to come to a plank. So now work your way into a plank position. Tall plank, we're on our hands here. In a nice long plank, I want you to wedge yourself between your hands and your feet. So feel your heels shooting past your toes. Feel your wrists right in front of those shoulders. And from here, you're going to drive your knee up and park it. It's almost like a mountain climber. We're going to go 10 times on each leg. The slower, the better here, okay? So this is 4. Keep going. Try to keep those hips down. You want your shoulders, hips, and heels in a straight line. You don't want to be up here, and we don't want to be down here, okay? We've got 2 on each side left. Good. And relax. We are going to repeat that whole thing 2 more times. Grab a sip of water if you need it, and let's go. So I hope if you are outside that you took this to a shadier spot than me. I wanted you to see me, but I'm starting to think it wasn't worth it because I am sweating. But let's get back into those squats. 10 squats, 3 seconds down, 3 seconds in the hole, and then 1 second up. So will follow along with me. Lowering down for 3, 2, 1, hold 3, 2, 1, and explode up. All right, keep going. So you can just look at me. I'm not going to be counting out loud here, so I can talk. As you lower down, you're going to feel your butt starts to fire, your thighs are firing, and then you really need to use that butt to hoist yourself back up. If in this hole you feel like you cannot possibly get back out, do a Kegel, squeeze your pelvic floor, and then see if you can shoot up. It just gives you a little extra oomph and helps you get up there a little easier. So do that Kegel and pop back up. We've got 3 more. Lower down with control. 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Up 2 more. And if this feels like a little awkward on your inner thighs, maybe try narrowing your stance and holding the thighs, squeezing the inner thighs a little more. It's going to get it out of the outer hip and into your inner hip. 1 more. 3, 2, 1. Hold at 90. 3, 2, 1. And pop up. That really gets into the top of the quads. You probably really feel that right here. And then you'll really feel the kneeling sissy squats down here. So again, we're coming down. Now 5 to 10 at your own count. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze the core. Head, shoulders, hips, knees, all in a super straight line as I lean back and then come forward. Lean back and come forward. 5 to 10. Now you're going to see this takes a different amount of time for everyone. The farther back you can get, the longer each rep is going to take and the more they're going to burn. So if you have a really limited range of motion, go for 10. And squeeze your butt, squeeze your butt. Do not let those hips fall. Do a few more if you've got it. Get a sip of water and let's get ready for our planks. All right. So now we're going to come into our tall plank position. And 20 knee drives total. So come to that tall plank, squeeze everything. And this is not a mountain climber. This is a knee drive. We're going together here. You want to make sure that nothing but that leg is moving. With a normal mountain climber, there's a lot of hip movement. My hips are popping up and down. I'm moving back and forth, and I'm getting like this crunching motion. But that's not the case here. Like I said before, the longer each rep takes, the better. So keep going and breathe. Awesome job. We have 1 more on each side. And come down. Give yourself a really short break, and we are going to hit this for a 3rd set. Ooh, the wind is picking up here. It is welcome. It might make a little interference on this mic, but y'all can handle it to give me a little break. So we're going to hit those squats 1 more time. Arms out in front of you, core is engaged, pelvis goes straight down, head, shoulders, hips, all in a straight line to begin with. And now you're going to go lowering down again. 3, 2, 1 in the hole. 3, 2, 1. And if you need to, do a Kegel to pop yourself up. Down. 3, 2, 1. Keep squeezing the core. 3, 2, 1. Kegel and up. You need to squeeze the core as you lower down and squeeze the glutes because these are the things that protect your lower back. And up. And if we don't protect our lower back, then it's going to start to hurt when we exercise. So it's all about learning how to move properly in order to avoid injury. And that's one of the big things I focus on in the She Beast program, is learning how to move really well and learning how to observe your own movement so you know if you're moving properly while getting feedback from me to ultimately be able to do it on your own and feel really strong in those movements. Because the worst thing I hear is, oh, I hate squats or I hate kettlebells because they hurt my lower back. And they shouldn't. They should help heal and strengthen the lower back. Kettlebells are responsible for helping me get out of herniated disc pain. So I like to share that wealth with everyone else. So come on, we're on the second to last one. 3, 2, 1, pop up, last one. 3, 2, 1 in the hole. 3, 2, 1, do that Kegel and explode up. You really feel it in your heels when you come up. Now our last set of kneeling sissy squats. Come to our knees, untuck the toes, squeeze the butt before we take off, and 5 to 10 at your own speed. Again, it's gonna take someone who's not going as far, much less time than somebody who can get their head closer to the floor. I don't have a huge range of motion in this exercise because it's not something I do a ton of. And if this was like totally out of the question for you, you could hold a beast position on all fours with your knees elevated. I should have said that sooner. I apologize. Keep going. This is my 5th one, I think. Inhale as you lean back. Exhale as you come up, and do not let that butt fall. Get a few more out of there if you have it in you, and then we'll do our final plank. So come to that tall plank position, one foot and then the other. You know how to get in a plank. I don't know why I'm explaining this. And then 20 knee drives and go. Awesome work. The leg is the only thing moving. If you have the luxury of having a wall nearby, having your feet up against a wall and using that as almost a parking space is a great way of elevating this exercise, or doing it for longer for time. But I don't have a timer out back with me. So we're going for reps. We're halfway there. Keep breathing. We have 2 more on each side here. Ooh, that breeze, thank goodness. And relax. Take a second if you need it. You can sit your hips back, walk your hands out in front of you, and take a little child's pose with your head on the floor. Who cares if it's grass, as long as it's not public grass filled with glass and debris. And relax. All right. Pop yourselves up. Get some water. Take a few moments of rest if you need while I go over what's next. Next up, we have arms and power. We were practicing a little bit of power with our drop landings in the warm-up and the exploding out of the hole in the squat, but now we're actually going to do jump squats. So our circuit is going to be 5 to 10 push-ups on the floor or on an elevated surface. Feel free to take them up, but please don't do them on your knees. Then we will be doing 10 jump squats, and then finally a 1-arm plank, which is spicy, and you're gonna hate it, but you're also gonna love it, because if you work out with me, we do them all the time, and they suck in the beginning, but then you feel powerful as fuck once you get really strong and good at them. So we're going to start with those push-ups. You can just watch me for a second for proper form, and then we will do them together. You come to your tall plank position just like you were for those planks before, and then you want your hands just outside of your shoulders. Elbows are going to flare away from the body at 45 degrees as you keep the whole body engaged. Bend at the elbows, bring your body as low as you can, and push back up off the floor with power. What you want to avoid having happen is losing control of the legs and having the lower back arch, or kind of nose diving with your hips up in the sky. So together, 5 to 10. And if you do it on an elevated surface like a bed, counter, desk, piece of furniture, or stairs, exact same thing, same form, you're just at a slightly gentler angle. So let's get going. 5 to 10 here. Come up into your tall plank position, squeeze the core, slightly tuck your pelvis, squeeze the butt, squeeze the legs, up and down, 5 to 10 times at your own count. Inhale down, exhale up. Keep going. I did a lot of push-ups yesterday, so I got 8 out. You should be finishing right about now. All right, we're gonna stand up and hit those jump squats. So just like with our drop landings, you start by shooting your arms behind you, hips hinge, body comes forward, but now you're actually just gonna take off. It's the same thing. Inhale, exhale. And when we land, we throw our arms back and we land with our knees slightly bent. A few things people do with jump squats that we are not doing today. We are not shooting our arms down by our sides when we jump. We don't do this, right? We go, like there's little laser beams coming out of our hands or jet fuel that's gonna shoot us up. No. And you're not landing with your ass to the grass, because think of this as an athletic movement. You wanna land in this loaded position where you're ready to jump into the next thing. Not down here where you need to use every muscle in your legs to stand back up. So together, 10 reps. Inhale, shoot the arms behind you. Exhale, reach for the sky. Inhale, exhale. Knees slightly bent on landing. Keep going. 5, 6, 7. Reach really high. Look where you're going. And throw the arms beside you as you land. Knees slightly bent. 2 more. And relax. Those just destroy your legs after the squats. Now we have our one arm plank. So again, same place we started with the push-up and the last plank, but you want your legs much wider. Just turn your feet out. Think of having a wide base of support at the bottom. Now we're going to do 15 seconds per side. You're just going to lift one arm up and squeeze everything, okay? Just watch for a second here. Don't open. The impulse is to turn into a single-sided plank, but we want to keep the shoulders level, okay? So, I'm already tired. Get yourselves ready. Hands right below the shoulders, feet nice and wide. Come up, and 15 seconds per side. Lift one arm, squeeze the glutes, keep that hip down, shoulder down. Squeeze everything, okay? We want to feel this in the whole body. And you're really wedged between that arm that's down and the foot that's down. And 3, 2, 1. Switch hands. Just move one hand to the other. I got some breeze. This is like, maybe I believe in God, because this is what I needed right now. Feel yourself wedged between that hand that's on the ground and the opposite foot. And 3, 2, 1. Relax. Round 1 of arms and power is complete. Get ready, get some water. We have 2 more rounds, of course. Oh man, so spoiler, I paused this camera between takes just so that way I can actually breathe while I'm teaching to you, because I'm not really a group fitness instructor and I'm not conditioned for this non-stop exercise and speaking at the same time. If you really want to challenge your cardiovascular system, talk while you exercise or sing. It's a bitch, but here I am, and I am still out of breath despite like a 2-minute break. So we are gonna get going, because that means you are out of breath too still, and I wanna make sure we get this cardio in with our workout. So as I showed you in the beginning, we're gonna hit our 5 to 10 push-ups. So come to that tall plank position, squeeze everything, inhale down, exhale up, right? 5 to 10. You wanna keep your body nice and tight, lower as close to the surface you're coming to, whether it's the floor or a bench or a chair or the table as possible, before you pop yourselves back up. 5 to 10, keep going. You only should take another 5 or 10 seconds here. All right. And then work your way up to standing. Now we have 10 more jump squats. Remember, when we jump, we come to full extension. We're reaching for the sky. Think of throwing a basketball for a jump shot. You'd want to have your arms up, not down. We don't just throw basketballs like this. So let's get going. Ready? 10 jump squats. Arms shoot behind you and explode up. 10 at your own count, okay? If you're following along, we're at 5. 5 more. Keep going. Bend those knees softly at your landing, but don't let your butt fall. You want to be well above 90 degrees here. Okay, we've probably got about 2 more. Keep jumping, keep breathing, and relax. All right, now we have our next single arm plank. Come to that tall plank position. Feet really wide. Remember, this is important. You don't want your hands narrow though, because you're basically just removing one leg of a table. So think, if you had a table with 4 legs and you pulled one out, it would fall over. But if the other 3 legs were sticking out a little bit, you'd have a better chance of staying up. So you want that hand just underneath or outside of your shoulder, feet nice and wide. Squeeze everything and lift one arm, okay? We're holding for 15 seconds. I know I said I don't have a timer, but I do have a really good sense of 15 seconds. Keep that other hip down. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And replace the hand and pull it up, right? If this is too hard, just switch between each hand as many times as you need to in this full 30 seconds, okay? We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come down. Grab some water. Take a little bit of a breather. This one's pretty quick because it is short periods of work and this explosive movement, which does go very quickly. And we will hit it one more time. All right, final set, 5 to 10 push-ups down on the floor. Get ready and go, your own count. Try to keep your body nice and tight the whole time. Maintain good form. Go for form over quantity here, quality over quantity. You do not need to do the same amount you did your first and second set if you feel yourself sinking and sagging. Keep it right, keep it tight. That was super corny, but it's true. All right. Finish up those 5 to 10 at your own count. If you already finished, just take advantage of this little bonus rest time. All right, 10 jump squats. Get ready. Shoot your hands behind you. Get ready to take off. You should feel it in your butt before you go. Use that butt to jump up. Use the front of the legs or quads to catch yourself as you come down and land softly. 10 times here. We're at 5 if you're following along. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. And our final one arm push-up. I did this front facing direction last time, and I'm gonna do it again just so you can see how truly level, or I hope how truly level, my shoulders are, because that is the goal. So again, hands just about as wide as your shoulders, feet much wider than that. Come to your plank. Squeeze everything. Squeeze the core, squeeze the butt, squeeze the quads. Lift one arm up. 15 seconds here, guys. We got it. It is a bitch, but such a gratifying movement to get good at. And you look so badass if you're in the gym doing it. And 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. And just keep remembering to pull that shoulder down, pull that hip down. Don't open to the side. This isn't a side plank. It's just a normal plank with one fewer limbs on the ground. And 3, 2, 1. Relax. We have one more set of exercises. It's going to focus on unilateral exercises, meaning one side of the body. Some slightly advanced stuff. We're going to be covering the Turkish Get-up. If you do not know how to do the Turkish Get-up yet, check out the full-length tutorial, and you can just do the regression, or you can try to follow along. We're just doing it with body weight today, so it's actually a great place to start to learn how to do the exercise. And in the meantime, grab some water while you listen and learn. For this final circuit, you're going to get some extra long breaks in between exercises as you listen and learn, and then hopefully the final 2 circuits will go a little faster. So we're going to be doing rear foot elevated split squats, also known as Bulgarian split squats. That's where one of your feet are up on an elevated surface. This is actually great because it's nice and soft. You don't want to pick something too hard. If you do pick a hard surface, you can feel free to tuck your toes to make it a little gentler. And it really works that one leg. So what we're going to do is come into a low lunge in front of it and pop the top of our foot on top of that surface. So the toenail side is down. From here, you're going to stand yourself up and you're going to send your pelvis down. Brace your core. Make sure you are actually close enough so that way when you tuck your pelvis, you don't feel like you're getting pulled over. Arms out in front of you again, and then we're going to lower down as close to the floor as we can and come up. This really isolates your back glute. And if this is way too hard on the top of your foot, you can tuck your toes. And if you do not have a surface to do this on, or if your knees are like, hell frickin' no, you're gonna take that split squat stance from your warm up, arms out in front of you, and go up and down, right here. So it's gonna happen a little faster if you're following along. But either way, we're doing 12 reps per leg. So let's get going on that first leg. Put your toes on top of whatever that surface is up to the middle of your foot. We're gonna stand up, get our core engaged, arms out in front of us, and come down, bringing that back knee as close to the floor as possible. Make sure that your front knee is tracking over the middle of the front of the foot. And I like to stay pretty upright in this exercise. It targets your glute a lot on your way up, but it still targets the quad. If you want to hit a little more glute, you're going to lean forward. So 12 reps, that was 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, and good. Shake it out for a second. You're really going to feel that. Even if you're experienced with this exercise, 12 reps is a lot per side. And then you should know where your feet were. I know because I have a footprint in the grass. And you're going to pop your other foot up. 12 reps on the second side. And go. Lowering down. Awesome. Make sure that you don't let that lower back super arch and lead with your belly coming up, right? And you don't want to fall over too much. We have 4 more. Make sure that knee is tracking over the midline of the foot. Ground the mound of the big toe that's on the floor. Last one. And relax. Whew, I'm like Bambi now. That was so challenging. All right, next up, we're going to do a full Turkish get-up on each side. So just start by watching, and if you do not know what a Turkish get-up is yet, you are going to do the first step or a quarter get-up 10 times per side. But if you want to give the Turkish get-up a try, we're going to do it once per side. So you're going to start lying on the floor. One arm's up in the air, and the matching leg is also bent, that foot is planted. The opposite arm and leg are 45 degrees away from your body. From here, you're going to roll onto your elbow. Don't crunch, really roll. And this is the quarter get-up. So if you don't know this and you don't want to learn something new today, you're just going to roll back and forth up, right? But if you're with me, if you're gonna try the more advanced version, we shift our weight to our hand and then press into that hand and foot to lift the hips up, sweeping this knee underneath me to end up in line with the hand that's on the floor. And then my hands are stacked on top of each other. From here, I lift my arm off the floor, close my leg, come to standing, and then reverse it. Send this leg back. Open the knee that's up to the side. Run my hand down the front of my thigh here to land it about a foot in front of me, so my hands again are stacked. And then leaning on the hand that's on the floor and the foot that's grounded, I'm going to sweep my leg back through and roll all the way back. So now let's do this together. We're going to do it once per side. Lay on your back, right arm in the air, right leg bent, left arm and leg out at a 45-degree angle. Bend your left arm, even pulling it up, pulling the tricep off the floor, and then throw it as you roll onto your elbow. Shift your weight to your left hand. Press into your left hand and right foot, lift the hips up and sweep the left knee underneath you. Lift your left arm up, close your right leg, and use your right leg to help you stand up. Now send your left leg behind you. Bend the left knee. Open the right leg all the way and run your left hand down your left leg to land on the floor in front of you. Look up at that right hand as you kick your left leg through. Sit down, roll to your elbow, roll to your back, and then one vertebrae at a time come down. Now we're going to do the other side. Left arm is up in the sky, left leg is bent, right arm and leg are at a 45-degree angle. You're going to roll onto your right elbow. Come on to your hand. Press into your right hand and your left foot. Lift your hips up and put your right knee underneath where your hips were. Now take your right arm up. Close the left leg. Use your right leg to stand all the way up. Left leg comes behind you. Come to a low lunge. Oop, that right leg came behind me. Left leg opens. Run my right hand down my right thigh. Plant it a foot in front of me. Balance on that right hand as I kick my right leg through. Come sit down. Roll myself to my elbow and then one vertebrae at a time down to the floor. Nice work. So from here, you are not going to go anywhere. Just had to check to make sure my mic was still on. And we are going to lay down and do a half hollow hold. So just check here for a second, but you don't have to go anywhere. We're going to press our abdomen into the floor and put our arms and legs up. Face goes towards the sky. Now you're going to extend one leg and hold it for 15 seconds. And then you'll bring it in and extend the other leg and hold for 15 seconds. If you want to make it more challenging, you can shift the arms out behind you. So here we're going to get going in 3, 2, 1. belly button to the spine, spine to the floor, knees up, hands up. Extend that left leg and hold. We're holding for 15 seconds. Like I said, no timer, but I've got a really good sense for finger counting 15 seconds. Keep holding. Keep that lower back on the floor for 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs that are extended. If your lower back's coming off the floor, what I want you to do is reach that leg up higher, okay? Or pull the leg that's bent closer into your chest. We have 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, get ready. We have 2 more rounds before we are done. Make sure you grab some water if you haven't had any yet this section. Dripping it down myself. That's not good when you're wearing electronics. And we've got our rear foot elevated split squats, 12 on each leg. So start on your less strong leg or your strong leg and then go to your stronger leg. We don't like super negative language here. Starting in that low lunge position, come off the floor, and now 12 reps per leg, sinking as deep as you can, really feeling it in the glute of the leg that's on the floor. Okay, so up and down, 12 reps per side. Okay, at your own count. You're going to be lowering down with control and popping up, feeling that explosive power as you press up off the floor. Make sure you press the mound of the big toe into the floor as you come up. And if you didn't want to do this version for whatever reason, we're doing pulsing split squats with both feet on the floor. Those use a little more of both legs, whereas the rear foot one primarily focuses on the leg that's grounded. So you probably are halfway there or finished one side, so switch sides and we're going to keep going on the other. This is one of the more advanced body weight exercises. We really get into it with She Beast spells and body weight. It's one of the things we touch on in the 3rd month of the program. I love it because it challenges you without any equipment. And we can always say, you know, people are like, do a pistol squat if you want a hard body weight exercise, but a pistol squat's not accessible to everyone, and it's not a great exercise to do every day. This is something you can have in your regular programming to really help strengthen and reinforce your knees. So you're probably finishing up. I want you to push your thing out of the way that you were leaning on if you can, or move away from it. And we're going to come down onto the floor and do the Turkish get-ups. Don't worry, I'm going to do them with you because this is some hardcore choreography. And if you don't already know how to do it, it can be a big challenge. So we're going to lay on our backs and put our left arm and leg at a 45-degree angle away from the body. Right arm up in the sky, right foot bent, right knee bent, right foot is planted. Roll yourself onto the elbow. And if you're only doing the quarter get-up, stay here rolling back and forth. Shift your weight to your hand. Press into the right hand and the left hand and the right foot. Lift your hips up and sweep that left leg underneath you. Lift your left arm up, reaching for the sky. Never lose sight of that arm to the sky. Close your right leg. Keep the belly on, core on. Use your right leg to pull your body up. Left leg goes behind you, knee to the floor. Right leg opens. Left arm runs down the left leg, lands a foot in front of you. Look up at that right arm as you sweep your left leg underneath you, come to sitting, roll all the way back, and now we're going to hit the other side. Left arm, left leg up going towards the sky, right arm and leg at a 45-degree angle. Roll yourself to the right. You're going to notice one side is easier than the other. Come to your right hand. Press into the right hand, left foot, lift the hips up, and get your right knee underneath you in line with your right hand. Lift the right arm up, close the left leg. Use your left leg to pull yourself up to standing. Arm is still going towards the sky. You want to imagine that there's a weight there, and you'd always want it to be going straight up because if you let it lean, you'd fall over. Right leg back, bend the knee, come down. Left leg open, right hand runs down the right thigh, plants down in front of us, look up at that left hand, kick the right leg through, roll to your right elbow, come to your back, and roll all the way down. Awesome job. This is such an amazing exercise, the Turkish Get-up, and again, it's something that is fundamental to the She Beast program. We start working on it from week 1, and we learn how to do it under some serious heavy weight. So learning how to do it properly with body weight is the very first step to doing it with weight and getting a total body workout out of it. Because it might not feel too hard other than maybe the coordination with just your body weight, but I promise it is a stellar total body exercise. So I stood up, but you didn't have to. We have our hollow hold, 15 seconds per side. Belly button into the spine, spine to the floor. Squeeze the stomach. Head lifts off the ground a little bit. Arms and legs thumbs up. Ready, set. One leg extends out in front of us for 15 seconds. Hold, squeeze the belly. Don't let that lower back come off the floor, okay, people? We don't want that to happen. It will hurt. And 3, 2, 1, switch sides. If you were like super advanced, feel free to hold a normal hollow hold for the full 30 seconds, but you know, I hate those. They're too hard. Make sure that lower back stays on the ground. Pull the extended leg up if you need to. And 3, 2, 1. Relax. This isn't the world's most demanding circuit. I think that the split squats and the hollow holds are the worst part of it. I don't know about you, but we have one more circuit to go, one more set of this. Just grab your water and let's hit it. Grab that elevated surface if you're like me and it's moving in and out of your workout space. We're going to start on the floor. Less strong leg is the one that's on the ground first, or in front of you. Come up 12 reps per side. Tuck your pelvis, squeeze your core, engage everything. You want to stay really upright as you do this, feeling it in the glute of the working leg. 12 reps per leg, okay? Up and down. It is again a very challenging and advanced exercise. So if you need to, both feet on the floor, heel up on that back leg, and we pulse up and down. It's going to take you a little faster if you're doing that way. It's just easier. Easier doesn't mean worse though. Some days we need to take the easier version just to get through, and that's okay. I like people to work where they're at to avoid injury and not push themselves. That's why part of She Beast is getting a program that is adaptable to many levels. There are versions for beginners through advanced, and I don't want everyone doing the same thing because one workout isn't right for everybody. So you're probably halfway through. Make sure you switch legs, 12 reps per leg. Inhale as you lower down and exhale as you come up out of that hole. Really focusing your attention so that you're not letting that hip that's working shoot out to the side. You want to be squeezing both glutes, using both legs, keeping both hips square with each other. You don't want to feel like you're leaning like you're holding a kid on your hip, okay? Nice and upright. Stomach on, glutes on. That's how we protect the hips and the spine. Probably only have a few more here. Keep going. Inhale down, exhale up. If you're done, enjoy your break before our final set of get-ups. All right, get your bench out of the way if it was in your way. And we're gonna lay down. All right, on the floor. Right arm and leg are up and bent. Left arm and leg are 45 degrees away from the body. Roll to the left. Come to the elbow. Again, 10 quarter get-ups if that's all you're doing today. Now come to your hand. Press into your left hand, right foot, hips come up, sweep the leg underneath us. Left knee is to the floor. Make sure those hands are stacked on top of each other. Here's where you can really see if you had a weight and your arm wasn't straight, your arm would come down. I'm going to show you a little funny bailout video of me messing this up by not keeping my arm straight enough. You'll see why it's important to keep your arm straight. Lift that arm up. Come to close your right leg. Use the right leg to pull yourself up to standing. And then left leg steps back, left knee bends, right leg opens up, left hand runs down the front of the leg, look up at that right hand, kick through, sit down, and roll all the way back. Now we're going to do the other side. Right arm to the ceiling, or left hand to the sky, left leg bent, right arm and leg are at a 45-degree angle. Roll to your elbow. Come to your hand. Press into your right hand and left foot, lift the hips up, sweep the knee underneath you. Looking up at that left hand, making sure your wrist is straight and the fist is towards the sky. Lift your right arm up. Close your left leg. Use the left leg to stand up. Send your right leg behind you, knee to the floor. Open your left leg, run your right hand along your right thigh, plant it a foot in front of you. Look up at that left hand, make sure it's still straight. Kick the right leg through, sit your butt down, roll to your right elbow, roll it back, and relax. Stay here. We have our final hollow hold. These are the worst, I know. Belly button to the spine, core on, lower back on the floor, pressed into the ground. Really feel nature below you. Arms and legs up, extend one leg and go. Head is off the floor. If you really can't do it, leave your head on the floor. Reach your arms straight up. That's gonna be easier. Keep holding, people. We got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Last movement you need to do today. Keep holding. You're shaking like me. You're doing it right. Don't want you to feel it in your back though, so reach everything straight up if you feel it in your back. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. You are done. Everything is so tight, I'm sure. Pull one leg into your chest. Bring it across your body and twist here. Reach the arms out in a T and look away from that bent leg. And breathe and relax. Come back to the middle, do the same thing on the other side. Pull the left leg or the other leg into your chest. Bring it all the way across your body, stacking your hips. You might get a good back crack here. Arms out in a T, look away from that bent leg. And hold here as long as you want. We did so much quad work, so it's a good thing to take a few low lunges or couch stretches. You can come to a down dog here. You're gonna reach your left arm up towards the sky. Left leg, plant it in between your hands, drop your back knee, untuck your back toes and come up. Send your pelvis down. It's nice and upright. We're not trying to be here. We just want to have a nice long line on the front of the hip. Really stretch that quad out. You can hang out here as long as you want. Put your hands down by your sides. Come to the other side. Reach that right leg up, shoot the leg in between the hands, foot lands in between your hands, drop your back knee, untuck your back toes, and come up again. Now, if you really liked this workout and you thought these were some interesting body weight exercises, please check out She Beast Bells and Bodyweight. Our next group starts on July 18th. If you're watching this prior to that date, please hop on the website and sign up or book a call with me to learn more. I am happy to talk to anyone who's interested in joining the program. Or if it's after July 18th, reach out. I'll let you know when the next group's starting. We run them quarterly. I cannot wait to see you again. I hope this was a great workout that made your vacation all the better.